It was the night before Christmas, and Rand Carthon was checking his list to see who could play quarterback for the Titans in 2025. Will Levis? Nope. Mason Rudolph? Nope. So who does that leave? Aaron Rodgers? Well, there was an interesting couple comments that Aaron Rodgers dropped on the Pat McAfee show on Monday. So let's talk about them. And shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. More about them later. Let's go.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running.
So Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee's show on Monday, and he made an interesting comment. Let's listen.
Shout out to the great state of Tennessee, phenomenal state. No state income tax, a lot of great country music down there.
Did you hear that? Is this all speculation, or is he really dropping a clue? Could he actually be quarterback for the Tennessee Titans in 2025? Here's the ultimate question. Do you want him? So let's dive into this a little deeper. The reason why I think this actually could happen, let's start with Rand Carthon. So going into 2025, Rand Carthon will be lucky enough to even have a job. Amy, who knows? The last couple games of the season, right now the Tennessee Titans would be picking fourth, play Jacksonville next week, then Houston. And I could see them losing both games. I also could see them beating Jacksonville in Jacksonville, and I actually think they will, which would lead them probably picking beyond 5. There's really a big logjam. Ask the Chicago Bears, who are literally picking 9th or 10, and they've lost how many straight, and they only have 4 wins. So that's my point. So Rand Carthon really is going to be up against it. He's probably not going to have an opportunity to draft a quarterback. And if he does, he's pretty much on life support in 2025. He's got a head coach that's really struggling, and then obviously his rookie campaign and Brian Callahan, which his main issue was to fix the offense. And as an offensive guru and bringing in his father, who was supposed to be an awesome offensive line coach, you would think that the Tennessee Titans would be well on their way. But actually, their offense is probably even worse than last year. Yeah, I get it. Derrick Henry is gone this season, but they do have a 1,000-yard rusher in Pollard, which I know is not the same, but he's played pretty well. The offensive line, I will argue, is actually better this year than last year. And yeah, they still haven't figured out right tackle. But do you remember the offensive line last year? Yeah, I don't think I need to say any more. Andre Dillard as your left tackle and still not having a right tackle, that's probably a concern. And then to throw out Aaron Brewer as your center, now you can understand where I'm coming from. So in 2024, the offense has not lived up to anything for Brian Callahan to brag about or to show improvement for Amy. So where does Rand come in? Well, Rand Carthon's job is to fix it. And if you listen to the press conference last year with Amy Adams, she said things were on the right path. Can you believe that? The right path. Promising young quarterback. A GM that's up and coming? Well, that's still debatable. And the new coach, yeah, I think we're still scratching our head on that one. So Rand's really up against it. Not to mention, there is a stadium being built. You might not have heard. Yeah, the new Nissan Stadium getting ready to open in 2027. So Rand's got to think of something. And you can't bring back just Will Levis and depend all on him because they saw exactly what they needed to see this year, and it wasn't good. Let's shout out our friends over at BetUS. That's right, BetUS has a promo code that you need to take advantage of. And the NFL season's almost over, so use that promo code YouTube150. That's right, YouTube150. It will get you a 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on deposits 2 and 3, all up to $2K. They have great customer service. They have great turnaround speed. I mean, heck, Santa Claus is going to be going around the entire world here in about, a few hours, so to speak. And BetUS can also deliver because they can get your money super quick, and they're one of the best out there. So shout out again to BetUS for sponsoring this video, and use that promo code YouTube150 for 150% bonus on your first deposit. So later on in the episode of Pat McAfee on Monday, Aaron Rodgers did talk and discuss about his current situation with the Jets. And it's not good. And ultimately, they don't have a GM and they don't really have a plan. So is Aaron Rodgers coming back? He did say that he would work with a young quarterback if drafted. And he also said he would nonchalantly take a pay cut, which would leave him as a possible option for the Titans, I would think, because of the whole land situation that we saw in 2022. And yeah, his positive comments of loving country music and no state income tax, well, which ones actually stick and which don't? I think the no income tax actually does relate, that at least he's thinking about. So the possible options out there for Ran Carthon, we already went through drafting a quarterback. Probably won't make sense unless he's in the top 3. And plus, there's no guarantees it's going to work. And with his job on the line, he's got to go to something to Amy quick. So what free agents are available? Kirk Cousins, who's going to be released from Atlanta, we think. And then you also have Sam Darnold. You would think Vikings might entertain the idea of franchise tagging him, but from talking to some Minnesota Viking fans, I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Now, Sam Darnold will actually have a high price. He's had a really good year. You go back and look, he was actually pretty good in Carolina as well before they went younger. So having Sam Darnold lead the offense for Ran Carthon, who actually already talked positivity on Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, if you remember during the Colts game at Nissan Stadium in Week 6. It was a sideline report that said, hey, he thought Will Levis could be the next Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. So you got to think he's somewhat like Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold, again, is going to cost some money. The other options, well, they're not great. Jameis Winston, does he do anything for you? Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields, but you can't guarantee he's going to come to Tennessee and bring success. What about Joe Flacco? I don't think so. But Aaron Rodgers. See, here's what Aaron Rodgers does. Not only does he come to Tennessee as being a future Hall of Famer, but Aaron Rodgers can do a couple things for you. Number one, he's actually still pretty good. If you look at his Pro Football Focus grades over the last, 3 years, not counting the year he got hurt, they're actually pretty good. This season, he has 7 games over a 70 score according to Pro Football Focus overall. And he's got 5 of those scores that are 80 plus. Yeah, that's actually pretty good compared to the quarterbacks we got now. Oh, and not to mention, over the last 3 years, not counting that year he gets hurt in game 1, 87 touchdowns, 24 picks. And this year, he has 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So the ultimate question is, well, how many games would Aaron Rodgers have won this year for the Titans? I can think of about 4, and that's not still going to get you the playoffs or win the division. It's not about championships. If it was, this franchise would have at least one. We don't have any. We have 1 Super Bowl appearance. That's it. Is it about the division title? No, it's not about that either. Why? Because we were in first place. That's right. We were in first place a couple years ago going into Jacksonville. And we had like a 95 or 96% chance to win the AFC South because the owner fired the GM. But let's be honest, that is not something that ever has happened in the NFL before when you fire a GM in the middle of the year when your team's in first place in the division. So what is it about? You know what it's about. It's about PSLs. And it's about selling those PSLs for the new stadium coming in a couple years. Aaron Rodgers would bring the most pub to the Titans. Aaron Rodgers is going to sell you way more PSLs than anybody else. Do I think Rand's got a plan? Sure I do. Let Rand cook. Because honestly, Aaron Rodgers may make more sense than we even think. Now, this is something I'll be honest with you, and you leave a comment below. You for Rodgers coming here? Are you not for Rodgers? Are you buying it? You're not buying it? I honestly looked at it and shrugged it off. The more and more I thought about it, the more and more I thought, wow, this actually might make sense. There is nothing literally Rand can go to Amy about at the end of the year and say, yes, this is progress. Based on the interview, him talking to Hawk and McAfee, I'm not so sure Aaron Rodgers is going to play next year. I think he might just wrap it up and be done after this year. So we'll keep an eye on it. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. And shout out to our sponsors of today's video, BetUS. Check them out in the description. Till next time, take care.
Tighten up.